Puja Tomar just beat Rayanne dos Santos to pull off the first victory ever for India in the UFC. Anshul Jubilees was on the road to UFC, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, there's a lot of controversy on this fight, man. Everybody's been talking about the robbery. They've been saying it's a robbery, including the MMA guru. I saw him on one of the comments saying, okay, this is how the judges are going to go. The UFC's trying to steal his money, etc. So I'm here to put this all to rest, yeah. So was it a robbery? I'm just going to bring the conclusion straight up over here. No, it wasn't a robbery, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So while everyone's out there arguing on the Instagram comment section, my jobless ass over here decided to watch the entire fight frame by frame over the course of the past hour. And yeah, the conclusion was like, alright, I'll just break the fight down a little bit. I think there were no heavy strikes that landed in this fight, maybe except that kick that landed in the third round. That's debatable. I didn't even count that as a heavy strike, but if any, it's probably that, because it did put her down. And almost every shot that Dos Santos was landing with the forearm. Like, she was just almost giving these slapping forearm shots that everyone was getting excited about. And even when they were in the pocket and it looked like shit's happening, because Dos Santos was also pressuring her, so it did look like she was getting the better of her in those exchanges, almost nothing was landing, man. It was crazy, because watching the fight live, I was like, damn, she's getting pieced up over here. But watching it frame by frame, almost everything missed. And those kicks to the body that Puja was landing over there throughout the entire fight, those were money, man. Those are good kicks to the body. Yeah, it's extremely boring to watch, completely agree, but those are money. You could tell that Dos Santos was feeling those shots to the body. And the commentators were insane, man. They were talking about how there's like no value for the kicks and all of that, like only the shots to the head count. And that's not true. That's not how the judges have ever judged the fight. Mid-fight, the commentators were also saying, oh, she's running away with this here in the third round. And you obviously, the casual fans are gonna go like, whoa, okay, it's easy win for this girl and all of that. And also the statistics that they were showing live, because I tallied everything on my phone live while watching it frame by frame. The numbers that they were displaying were completely off. They counted a lot of missed shots and a lot of blocked shots as strikes. It was bullshit. But yeah, man, watching the fight live, like, Puja did look like a wounded animal throughout that fight, because she was being pressured back, and because with the kicks and everything, she looked off balance a lot of the time. And even after the fight had ended, she looked kind of defeated, and Dos Santos was like celebrating. She did a little tumble. So yeah, it was very it gave this illusion that she had won the fight. Yeah, so round 1 had quite clearly gone to Puja. Round 2, it was sort of 50-50. It was a very close fight, but it edged to Puja's side. And round 3 was a clear Dos Santos win. So because of that being at the end of the fight, I think there was a lot of bias over there as well. Because people just sort of remembered the last round, and the rest of the fight was sort of bullshit to them. It was very close, so then they sort of judged everything based on that third round. If you do that, yeah, Dos Santos wins, but that's not how MMA fights are judged. But yeah, the judging was kind of crazy as well, you know. So one of the judges gave it 30-27 one way, 30-27 the other way, and then the other judge gave it a 29-28 to Puja, which was the only correct decision there, because 30-27 either way is crazy. Giving the first round to Dos Santos is crazy, and giving the last round to Puja is crazy as well. That's insane, actually. Giving the last round to Puja, they weren't watching the fight. But yeah, round 2 going either way, it's completely acceptable. It just depends what you prioritize more. If you prioritize the volume and strikes, or you just prioritize a few head strikes, or what it is with the way you score it, because it's very subjective. The way you score, the scoring criteria is very subjective in the UFC. So yeah, what's the conclusion of this fight? Was India's first UFC win a robbery, or was it legit? Turns out it's legit. I mean, this contender, I don't know if she's gonna do well or not. She didn't look great against someone who was, you know, quite low level. But yeah, that moment in round 3 was pretty cool, and that might go a little viral on social media. She might gain a lot more subscribers. She already has 400,000. But yeah, in that sequence, she didn't end up landing shit, though. She kind of got pieced up in that sequence after she started screaming. But it's all good. The fans weren't really knowing what they were watching anyways. That's why they called it a robbery. But yeah, apart from that, I have nothing to say. She won this fight. It was quite clear. If you watch it slow, you watch every shot that lands and everything, like I did frame by frame, which obviously no one's going to do. So let me just sit here and tell you, after an hour and a half pretty much, it's 5 a.m. in the morning right now, but after an hour and a half of just watching it frame by frame, Puja did win that fight. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to watch the rest of the fights and catch you all in a bit.